Hello, this is Watch All About with another watch review, and in this review we're looking at a offering from Kronaby, which I've been very excited about because mainly because it is a smartwatch, but it still looks like a traditional watch, and it has the build quality of a traditional watch as well. So without fail, let's have a look at the unboxing process. So we first of all have this outer sleeve, and then we have this inner box with a very slight logo embossed on the end, and here we have the watch itself. A little tag there, nice sort of linen approach to the inners, which is quite refreshing, a little bit different to normal. A little bit of paperwork in there to get the app, and open it up, and there we have it. So let me just move all that stuff over there, out of the way. So this is the Apex, and it's known as the Apex Twin because it has two subdials. It comes in a variety of other options with no subdials and just one subdial as well. I chose this one because I think it offers obviously a lot of flexibility because of the subdials and the pushes as well. So as you can see, it looks pretty cool first off. So the price of this is a little bit, on the high side for a smartwatch, you could say. £545 is the RRP. That's around $690. So it is more expensive than an Apple Watch, for instance, or a Samsung watch. However, you are getting a really well made timepiece, and it is just that as well. It's a proper timepiece, not just a smartwatch. So we'll go into it in further detail and see if it is worth the money. So size wise, it is fairly sizable, 43mm in diameter. I've got about a 7¼ inch wrist, a height of 13.5mm, and then a lug to lug length of 51.5mm. So obviously it is pretty good in terms of size. Weight 92 grams as well, so it really does feel like a decent quality watch. It provides a lot of wrist presence as well because of the size of it. Water resistance is pretty good as well for a smartwatch, 100 meters or 10 atmospheres, so you are covered for maybe even a little bit of swimming, but I wouldn't risk it, and I certainly wouldn't use any of the pushes underwater either. Reasonable 22mm lug width, so decent straps you can get fitted to it, and you get a 2-year warranty as well. So the movement used is the Kronaby BT003, so whether that means Bluetooth and then their third model or their third iteration of this certain model, I don't know. But the main cool thing about it is the fact that it is a Bluetooth connected device, but it has a whopping 2-year battery life, which is really impressive. So obviously with an Apple Watch or a Galaxy Watch, you're charging it every other day. Not so much with this one. So if you're only using your smart devices for notifications, then this would be so much of a better option because you don't have to worry about it. 2-year battery life is amazing. And on top of that, when you do come to need to replace it, it is a standard button battery as well. So no fancy buttons, simple to source, simple to replace. So that has been really impressive for me. Okay, so we'll have a look at the watch in detail, and then we'll get the app to see how it connects. So first of all, looking at the dial, certainly has a pilot inspired kind of aviation theme to it, with the numerals, bold numerals, and the font of the numerals as well, and then sort of these subdials as well in the style of them. Really nice, clear, just great design. I think it looks really smart. Nice solid black base as well, and bold white hands, white numerals, subdials super legible also. Obviously the subdials have different options. You can program them to do different things, hence why it has a variety of markings on them, but I still think they've done it in a nice subtle way so that it doesn't look too overcomplicated. We have this cool rehaut as well, which raises the dial up to the edge of the crystal, sapphire crystal, which is domed, double domed, so as you can see when we get a tight angle, no legibility is lost there. You still get great, no distortion whatsoever, even at the tightest angle, and really good anti-reflective coating as well. So I think they've done a really good job. I like how the subdials are ever so slightly inset into the dial as well. But we'll be able to have a look at that in closer detail with a macro lens in a short while. So that provides a tiny bit of depth in alongside the rehaut. So perfectly manufactured as well, no complaints whatsoever. Loom's tips. The loom is really weak, so you barely see it, to be honest. So I wouldn't even count on it being loomed. Moving on to the case then, I really like the shape of the case. We sort of have this step in, which is, you know, slightly unusual, and then the bits around the pushers and the crown, really nicely done, very intricate and interestingly detailed there. So we have a polished bezel, and then the side is brushed, and then we step down to the main case. We have this polished top corner, top shoulder here with the brush side. So it's good that it's primarily brushed on the sides, because obviously that's more resilient to scratches. Brush top of the lugs as well. Flipping it over to this side, I really like what they've done here, especially with the crown. We have this knurled base, and then this sort of like shaft, black shaft, and then the Kronaby logo embossed on the end there. Really nice and easy to use as well. So you push it, and then that's activated stopwatch mode that I've programmed in. Press it again to deactivate it, and then you can press it twice. I've programmed the double press for a countdown timer instead. So double tap. So then if I was to start it, it goes down. So then stop. So the pushers, they pinion style, nice little sheath at the bottom, you know, quite detailed where it meets the dual layers of the case, and then the pushers themselves are really nice and thick, easy to push in and easy to use as well. Flipping it over, so we have the case back here, brushed with the logo engraved in the inside with these details in this sort of channel around the outside. Bit of a cheeky serial number there. Not crazy deep, but nice and detailed enough to, you know, be look pretty good. So whilst it's not, you know, amazing quality, it's nice to see it is engraved rather than just laser etched. The strap, I really like the strap, sort of like a tan feel to it, very supple, and it's good to have quick release pins as well. Makes replacing it really easy if you did want to. I like the colour. I think it works really well with the case and the dial colour. As you can see, it's developed a bit of a wear to it as well. So how long it'll last, I'm not sure. As you can see, the keeper loops as well are different colour entirely, mainly because that they get rubbed most. But I like the rustic feel to it, and the rustic look to it as well, and stitching contrasting nicely as well. But as you can see, really bendy and a nice quality leather, really comfortable on the wrist as well. And then finally looking at the buckle, brushed with polished sides and a polished tip there, and the Kronaby logo laser etched on, which is a shame that it's not properly engraved, but still it's nice design and it looks good as well. Okay, let's get the macro lens on first, and then we'll look at the app in a little bit. So starting off with the dial. So here we have the logo, and as you can see, we have this sort of inset subdial. Both of them are the same, so that provides a nice gentle bit of depth to it. And then here's one of our points of our rehout with our minute track printed on the outside. Having a look at our hands, bold white against the black backdrop. Really interestingly, have this sort of like a black ring around it, creating a bit of a hover effect for the hour hand, which is interesting. Nice little touch there, and the loomed hand there. And then some of our numerals printed on. Very nice and neat. No complaints whatsoever, really. So moving on to the case itself. So here we have our nicely machined and polished lug. You can see the top is brushed. Have this polished shoulder and then a brushed side as well. The joins here on this angle are really sharp. As you can see, very well manufactured there. Then this step in, again brush sides, and the polished top of the bezel. Flipping it over to our pushers. Here's one of our pushers with a brushed base and then a polished button itself, and our crown. Here we go, very nice crown. I really like the knurled base to it, and then the central sheath, bit, and then the the tip with the logo embossed on the end there. Nicely done. Flipping it over, have a look at our case back. Here's the logo engraved on the end, on the inside central bit, and then some details around the outside. So again, pretty nice and detailed, just not crazy deep, but that's not a massive issue really. And then having a look at the strap, you can see the sort of like rustic nature to the top grain. I really like it. And finally, having a look at the buckle. So there we can see it's laser etched logo, which is a shame. Would have been nice if it was engraved on polished sides as well. Okay, so as you can see close up, you know, pretty much flawless in all aspects really. The only negative really is the fact that the it's not necessarily a negative, but this would have been nice if it was engraved, but that's the only fault really I can think. The general build quality is really sensational, really solid, decent. You know, with like these kind of smartwatches, you get the impression sometimes they might feel a bit flimsy, a bit lightweight. Not with this. It genuinely feels like a really sturdy, solid, excellent timepiece, which is great because for those watch enthusiasts who are really into you know, their decent timepieces, but maybe want to have a, you know, a bit of a connected device, this would be the absolute perfect option for them because you know, many of us at the end of the day are a bit snobbish toward Apple Watches and LCD screens. So this is a perfect alternative. Okay, so let's have a look at the app then and see how it works. So here we have the phone that's connected to this one. So it's really easy to set up, so I won't go through that. But as you can see, you tick watch face. So what you can do is you can set what the pusher does on 1 tap and 2 taps. As you can see, I've got stopwatch mode on the 1 tap, tap the 2 tap, it's set to timer mode, gives you some nice details there. And then you can select some different options with the sub dials. So as I mentioned, we have the 2 sub dials there. So at the moment on my left hand side, I've got second time zone, which is just the home time zone. So it's basically showing the same time, but these are the options. And then on the right hand side, I've got my daily 100, which is set to a certain amount of thousands of steps. So as you can see at the moment, I'm at 80% of it. So that's pretty good. But as I mentioned before, you can set it to be a date, a day of the week indicator. I've obviously used those two, so they're unavailable. Secondly, you can set your notifications. So you have 3 different notification levels, 1, 2, and 3. 3 is the deepest buzz. So I've set that to be WhatsApp, messaging, telephones, and then on the second buzz, I've got my daily 100 and Facebook Messenger as well. You can also add people as well if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it very well. So you can add a person to a certain notification so that they come straight through. What you can do is you have a certain amount of limits here, so you can just drag them in. So obviously they're ones that I've had. Oh, you can click add apps. So here we have like eBay, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, blah blah blah. All of these ones that are currently installed, well, they're featured actually, so I can go to your apps. So I've got other apps here like a reminder, which would be quite cool, WordPress. Drag them all into any of these different notifications. Finally, your pushers, so you can set the 2 pushers to do anything I want. So the top pusher at the moment is start and stop music, bottom one is find a phone, but you can also the screen's a bit rubbish, isn't it? You can also set it to be release your camera, remember this spot, so it will drop a pin, location, walk me home, and if this then that. Now that has the potential to be really, really powerful. If you've not used if this and that before, then I really recommend you look into it, because you can set if this and that to do anything you want. So then the potential is that you press your button on your phone and then use if this and that to program in something like, if you've got smart lights at home, then you can say, hey, I want to turn on a light in the lounge, for instance, or turn on some lights in the house, anything like that really. So that has a potential to be really, really cool, to be able to use the pushers with that. So that's it really for the app. It's really, really nicely designed as well. They've done a really great job on the app, and so simple to link the two together and set it up as well. Okay, so finally, yes, the price is 545. Yeah, it is quite expensive at the end of the day. However, if you're going to go for a brand new smartwatch, you're already thinking down the line of spending a fair bit of money, and I think for watch enthusiasts in particular, this is the perfect timepiece. I absolutely love it. I can't stop wearing it, and I didn't think I would, to be honest. I didn't think I would connect so well to it. It's just the perfect amount of connection as well. So their slogan is "Stay connected, not distracted," which works really well because it gives you a little tiny tap. It has a buzz. It gives you a little tiny tap on the wrist when a notification comes through, and depending on the notification, we had 1, 2, and 3. When a notification comes through, it actually turns to the number of the notification level. So say, for instance, I get a text through, it will buzz and then go to number 3. So then I'll be able to say, okay, so that was one of my number 3 notifications. And then I know that notification has come through. However, it doesn't tell me what it says, and then I can decide if I want to have a look at it on my phone or not. So really nicely made as well. I can't fault it whatsoever. The build quality is really solid, really sensational. And another cool thing is the fact that they update it regularly as well. For instance, whilst I've been reviewing this timepiece, a new feature has come out in the app, which in fact is the double tap of the crown. Beforehand, it only had the one tap option, which is the stopwatch. Since then, they've recently released the double tap, so I've programmed that for the countdown, which is amazing because it shows you the potential there that you'll get regular updates and new features coming out, which is great as well. So I really love the Kronaby Apex. If you can afford it, if you're after this type of watch, then I would absolutely highly recommend it because it is a beautiful timepiece. It looks great on, great design, great build quality, lovely app as well. You can program it. It's very, very flexible in terms of programming. So they've done a really great job. So I'm really happy with it, and I would recommend it. So this was the Kronaby Apex 43mm. That's what it's all about. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. See you next time.